If you ask what Koreans think of New Zealand, the first thing they'll say is clean, green, and no people. So that mindset, as soon as they hear New Zealand, they have that idea of clean product as well. Korea has a lot of food and beverage themselves that they're producing, but there are key areas that they can't produce competitively with New Zealand. So obviously lamb, dairy, and kiwi fruit, and wine. So that's where we have a strategic advantage. The consumers have discovered that there are really good wines out there. If I was a betting man, I'd say that the only direction is growth.
I think the Korean market is good for New Zealand exporters for a number of reasons. I mean, first of all, there's a really strong trade relationship between Korea and New Zealand. So now more than 80% of New Zealand's goods and services to Korea are tariff-free. I think the environment here is one where there's 50 million consumers. They are very discerning and they appreciate the products that New Zealand has to offer. New Zealand's food and beverage especially resonates with Korean consumers. It's seen as safe, reliable, nutritious and sustainably grown.
It has been really good year this year, and the sales grows rapidly. The last couple of years, the wine sales went up a lot. Wine is getting really popular. Normally, Korean national drink is soju and beer, but nowadays, wine is the number one.
I think there has been quite a dramatic change, certainly during COVID, where younger people have started to try different things. They've gone quite dramatically away from the traditional Korean diet to more an international diet. And I think that is really fueling the growth that we're seeing in New Zealand products.
They're willing to try new things. Korean consumers have a lot of choice, so therefore they're very willing to look for those products which will offer them the best solution to their particular needs. So, great opportunity for New Zealand. But you need to have a really good understanding about what you can offer to your customers and really go out there and actually seek those consumers.
We had to find a way to stand out from our competitors. Our competitors are not only other wines from other regions, but also other brands from New Zealand. So we work really hard on the label design. Korea is a very package-focused country.
To engage with the Korean consumers and build your consumers' interest, you need to connect with them on their terms. Korean consumers are well educated, and then they're really super cautious of the health, and then what ingredient inside there, and how they make. As exporters, when you make product or brand or packages, if you're concerned about those kind of things, make sure your packages communicated those values.
Social media has been an excellent platform to work with. Each country kind of has their own social media that targets certain demographics. Hashtags can help us target Koreans directly. So, for example, if we're using the hashtag wine in English, it's a global hashtag, but we change that to the Korean language and write it in wine, it targets specifically Koreans only. And we can see where people are drinking our wine. And if we see them drinking in a certain area or a certain style, then we can exploit that and actually push that.
Korea is really exploding now in a positive way when it comes to food and beverage. They are very much quality driven, knowing what they're eating, knowing what they're drinking, knowing what's good for them, knowing what's not good for them. So New Zealand has so much great opportunity to leverage that.
Never ignore Korea. I think Korea for many years has been ignored as a potential market. But Korean can really offer a lot. It's a very sophisticated market.
It's a great market to do business, and New Zealand businesses are succeeding because we have something that consumers want here.